Look good. Come on. I can't believe I forgot to download Reflector Floor, but that's what happens when you take a nap before stream. Alright, it looks good. Does it sound good? That's the wrong mouse to check sound with. Come on. It does indeed, so... Excuse me, hello, people of the internet, it is I, Soulrack Dragon here, back with more Fate Grand Order, where we will be continuing the Olympus journey. Not really much else to say beyond that. We are 4 out of, I think I was told 27, 28 sections through this whole journey, so, you know, I kind of want to get this through this, because it is a compelling story, and I really want to see where things go, so we'll start off Section 5 today, Thou Art the Harvest That Reaps the Stars, Part 2, 5 arrows for Section 5. Let's get this journey started. No battle on this one. First one, at least. Maybe all of it. Which would be interesting, but I'd be fine with that. To a degree, a slight degree. A little loud.
The skyscrapers are collapsing. Damn, these Olympian gods, not even my defenses can stand in the face of their assault. They're about to break through every one of our defensive lines. Ah! Assemble my mass-produced mechanical soldiers. It's up to you to hold the last line of defense.
Okay, so this is showing the last stand of each of the team members, maybe?
Let them hear you roar, man. Even if we should vanish here today, the flag of freedom will still fly strong. Farewell, fellow Chaldeans. The rest is up to you now.
Ooh. Helena's looking rough. Damn. Poor Helena. Does she still have... Is she short an arm? No, yes. Oh, no, she's not. Her one arm's just clutching the other. I finished the 2 summoning positions. I'm so close to finishing more, but we just don't have enough time. If we only had a few more minutes, I could have maybe at least finished the 3rd and 4th.
I'm sorry, lady. If nothing else, we should have at least made sure you could escape. Edison's group has been fighting admirably. They clearly learned much from their experiences in the singularities.
Ooh. He's complimenting Edison. It's the end of the world!
But I'm afraid this is as far as we go. We are truly, utterly defeated. The gods' lone strike will surely demolish this entire sector before we can even deal with them a single blow.
Maybe we threw caution in the wind too soon, or maybe we never had any chance of winning. Damn it, damn it! Mechanical Olympian gods, huh? They're the real deal, so they might even know about something Mahatama.
I know, but remember, they are the enemy of all proper human history. They may well be the ships that cross the Sea of Stars come here, my wise, beautiful Hanel. But they are absolutely not the stars you looked up to.
Aw. Thank you, Mr. Tesla. You're very kind.
It's the truth, lady. Hear me, gods. This world does not belong to you. You were consigned to the trash heap of proper human history long ago. You aren't protecting anything. You only suffocate humanity with your enduring tyranny. Humanity will never be your pets or plaything.
Bronze giant? No, just a annihilation. So a whole sector was wiped out? I think that's what essentially they said, is they wiped out a whole sector to deal with the Chaldean servants. In this quest, you'll form your party immediately before the battle begins. Would you like to start the quest? It is a saber enemy. I honestly don't know what we'll be fighting. We escaped from the pursuit, theoretically at least. Unless this is Muramasaba, who was underneath the hood, and we're fighting him, you know, training montage sort of thing. Or, you know, prove our worth. But he's an alter ego now, isn't he? I think that he is one of the alter ego servants, so I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But I hope we get more sequences from the other servants that were here. you know? Ooh, they have quarters here. Mash, why aren't you in bed? Good morning. Could you already up? I hope you don't mind if I come in. You should have been here in the first place, Mash. Good morning, Senpai. Foo! Did you sleep well last night? Are you okay, Senpai? You look pale. Oh, we dreamed all that. That was not a recording. We had a dream. That's something. Mash. Senpai? As a matter of fact, I had a bad dream myself. I think it's probably because we heard that all the heroic spirits that came to Olympus from Atlantis were wiped out. Good point. That's a good reason to have bad dreams. Right. Still, they did leave this hidden base for us. It should be more than functional enough for our purposes. And Musashi's here too to help, so it hasn't been a complete loss. Now that we've settled in here, we should report back to Director Gordolf. Our comm situation still hasn't improved, but at least we might not have so much interference down here, thanks to the difference in atmospheric magic energy levels. Foe! 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 Thanks, Foe. Foe, you're a great former beast. Foe! Come on, Senpai. Musashi and Holmes are waiting for you. Morning, Soul. Did you sleep well last night? Oh, if you're hungry, there's breakfast to be had over there. I'll say this about Olympus, the food here is yummy. I visited lots of different worlds back when I was still alive, and as food goes, this place is easily in the top 5. It must be civilization here has flourished to the point they can really focus on things like refining their cuisine. It's just too bad they apparently never got around to inventing udon. You really do love udon, don't you, Musashi? So do I. I'm a fellow udon lover, right? You just can't beat that texture. It's true, the way the noodles glide across your tongue while being delightfully chewy all at the same wet time always makes me end up eating more than I intended. Oh yeah, I know servants don't technically need sleep or eat. Just because we can go out without both doesn't mean we should, if you ask me. Getting good rest helps you feel centered and focused, and a good meal just makes you feel straight up happy. I mean, since we materialize with emotions and all, it'd be a waste to neglect them. Yeah, she is in much better spirits than yesterday, now. You bet I am. I'm still me no matter where I go or what I do. Sure, things might be kind of depressing lately, but in general I still smile my way through life. That's the kind of gal I was in life, and that's who I am today. Fo-fo! Oh, morning to you too, Fo. So, now that we've had a chance to slow down and catch our breath, I think it's a good time to tell you what I've been up to since we last saw each other in Russia. She was in Russia, wasn't she? I remember now. She fought against Ivan with us. For us. Same thing. Just so we're on the same page. I was able to meet up with you guys in Russia because of my unique constitution. See, I was able to wander into my neighboring worlds in life. I've always thought it was Lady Kanan's guidance, though recently I learned it's actually called drifting. So I think what happened was that I ended up drifting right before the world was wiped clean. When I drifted back a moment later, there was nothing left but a bleached white ground everywhere I looked. At the time, I thought I'd ended up on some blank slate parallel world somewhere. But after wandering around for a while, I drifted right into the snowy fields of the Russian Lostbelt. You with me so far? Mm-hmm. Yeah, something doesn't quite add up. I don't know what it is, but something doesn't. Right, back at Kildea, your drift was recorded as something similar in nature to a ray shift. So my understanding was that you could only drift to different time periods in parallel worlds. Yep, as a rule, my drifts always put me in different worlds, never in the same one I drifted from. For if I wanted to drift back to the same world as all of you guys, I'd basically have to keep drifting between different worlds and I hope I'd eventually get lucky. But probably because we summoned you, you're tied here. When I drifted out of Russia, I found myself face to face with the same bleached white earth of 2020. I tried a few more drifts after that, and they all turned out the same way. While I didn't always end up in the same location, I did always end up in the same world and time period. So is she locked down now? Something's locking her drifting down now. Interesting. A bit surprising at first, but I'd basically realized I'd gained a superpower, the ability to teleport long distances. From there, I spent my days wandering around, fighting off weird creatures and testing how much I could control my new ability. Whoa, weird creatures was she fighting? Then, one day... Watch yourself, woman. Colliding with another teleporter is unheard of, even in the Magecraft world. I ran into this guy who was kind of arrogant, but basically alright, and we ended up traveling together for a while. Yes, the Angel Romani. He turned out to know a ton about all kinds of things. Like, he knew what kind of divine power my drift uses. And what happened to you guys after Russia? I'm not sure there was anything he didn't know. Anyway, he was pretty much caught up. He pretty much caught me up on the whole situation. So I decided to sneak into the Atlantic Lostbelt ahead of you guys and wait for you. Oh, I even managed to drift into Olympus easy peasy. They never even know I was here. Unfortunately, my drift only works on me, so I couldn't bring Road Guy or any other heroic spirits along. They're probably going to need more help besides just me. Should we spend more time looking for other servants? No need. Circumstances being what they are, we can be assured that a grand servant will appear in the Atlantic Lostbelt. He's not wrong. Oh god, is Zeus a fucking beast? That thought just occurred to me. He clearly cares for humans. Is Zeus maybe a beast? Oh, that could be why he's so powerful. If he's a beast that won. That servant will be a much more powerful ally than you could ever hope to be. That being said, yeah, they will need you as well. If you want to come along, I can take you as far as the Atlantic Lostbelt, but no farther. The Counterforce truly is nothing if not meticulous, meandering, and mean-spirited. Oh wow, that's a bit of an insult. Self-warping powers came through, then, essentially. Yep, I usually think this tendency as a drift is a problem, so I'm glad it turned out to be actually useful for once. So, in exchange for no longer being able to reshift to different time periods into parallel worlds, you're now essentially able to travel freely teleport, at least to a certain extent. It's very impressive that you've been able to make your way into Lostbelt without embarking on a zero sail. Yep, I'm not really sure how it works myself, but it sounds about right. So in summary, your drift ability involved jumping into a rift between the worlds, then emerging into another one. I think it's safe to assume that it'll still work that same way, since that would explain how you're able to get past the Lostbelt storm walls. The idea is that you're jumping into a higher dimension, then falling back down to a lower one. The only difference is that before you could fall down to any number of possible destinations. But now you are only falling back to this world, which is why you always seem to emerge somewhere. Here. Very good explanation, Mash. Very, very good. Yeah, exactly. Guess I can't really call it drifting anymore, can I? Fo! Yeah, tell me more about the robed man. I'd like to know that too. Is he the robed figure that we heard about in the other Lostbelts? The one who claims to be from Chaldea. Sorry, I can't answer that. He made me promise not to. And I still owe him for giving me food and shelter for a night, so I can't go back on my word. Dang it! I see. I'm glad to know he helped, in general. You know? Right, he did, didn't he? We may not know who he is, but we know he sent you here to help us. And if it's thanks to him that we were reunited, he must be... He's on Chaldea's side. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it'd be great if it turned out to be the case. Anyway, Soul and Mash, there's something I want you to keep in mind. Yes, the heroic spirits who came here from Atlantis may all be gone now. But you still have allies here willing to risk their lives for you. So, while it might feel like you're fighting all on your own sometimes, you're not. You may not be able to see it, but your home world of proper human history is still here to back you up. There's always somebody around to help us. That is true. Hearing you say that is all the reassurance I need to know you'll be alright. Foe! Ah, Foe? I see you're raring to go too, Foe. That's the spirit. You're right. Motivation is the key to success, and we're gonna need all the motivation we can to get so we can get things settled once and for all. What does singing aloud scare you? Don't worry, we can do this. You guys already took out 2 of the gods. But we only managed to do that because we had so many servants helping us. Not to mention, they had all their enhanced spirit origins using the Olympus gods Theos, Killer, and Omia. On top of all that, they had to risk everything they had, and even then we were only able to just eke out a victory. This isn't good, Mash. You've been bit by the cowardice bug. I am a cowardice bug. Bugs like that need to be shaken off as soon as possible. So on that note, go ahead and order snacks up, Mash. Huh? Go on, no need to be modest. Oh. We're gonna be fighting Musashi with Mash, aren't we? That's not gonna be easy. Do I want to even consider that? No, I'm just gonna OP through it if it's what I think it is. Yeah, you know we only just got up, right? Luckily, you can shake off the cowardice bug pretty easily by getting some exercise, which means you're doing this whether you like it or not. And that goes for you too, Mr. Detective. Don't think I don't see you watching over there.
Good grief. It would seem Eastern Samurai intuition, especially at a sword saint's level, is a frightening thing indeed.
Holmes, should you be up and about yet?
Oh yes, I'm quite alright, Miss Skyrlight. In fact, I feel even lighter on my feet now than I did before we left the border. As far as I can tell, I've recovered to the point that I may indeed engage in hand-to-hand combat once again. These medicinal nano machines are truly marvelous things.
Ooh, you found Kelranomia here.
Correct. These Theos Kelranomia, a collection of massive microscopic authority, are named after Demeter, one of the goddesses of Greek mythology. Demeter is the goddess of the fertility and the deity who cultivates ambrosia, a food which grants immortality. According to the mythology of proper human history, she is best known for the tale of her beloved daughter's abduction. Persephone was abducted by Hades and made the queen of the underworld despite Demeter's desperate attempts to bring her back to Olympus.
Demeter Kelranomia. I remember seeing it once back in Atlantis, but...
True, but the Kelranomia that was being kept here are far more effective than Kelranomia we saw in Atlantis. If we could bring some back with us to study later, I have no doubt we could.
Okay, no more questions. It's time for morning training. Don't worry, Soul. You can have breakfast as soon as it's over. Senpai. Morning training, Mash. Right, understood. This morning training seems like it'll be very different from the similarity training I'm used to, but I'll do my best to adjust.
Very well, Miss Miyamoto, if you insist, but be warned, Bartz is a very, very versatile martial arts. If you think your katana alone will grant you an easy victory, I would advise you to reconsider your tactics.
Oh, I see someone remembered their breath during their trash talk. Okay, guys, come out whenever you like. My void sword is waiting and ready. So yeah, we are up against Musashi. Let me guess. Home support? Home support. Mash needs to be in the front lines. Okay. Well... You know, I'm not gonna just, I'm not gonna roll over. Mash is good, but I'll prepare. That's what I'll prepare for the worst case scenario, which in this case means bringing probably Chloe. Chloe. Chloe can come in the position, and we will go ahead and get serious with the battle uniform. Combat uniform. Alright. We'll give it a try with Mash, but if this does not work, quickly, if it's going to be a hard fight, like Mash doesn't have any buffs, or Musashi does not have any debuffs, then we're going to bring in Chloe to just, Chloe smash. As she do. As she do. Let's freaking break bar Musashi. With straight up no buffs. Okay, yeah, sorry Mash, but you're awesome, but I cannot dally here. Okay. Crit star drop rate is really good, but that's not going to give us an attack buff. Be very selective here with the buffs, because that's only a 50. From Chloe, yeah, this should be fine. That is unnecessary here, as is that. Let's go for the stun to be safe. Safety stun and Chloe smash. See how this goes damage-wise. If this doesn't work, we'll just bring in XA to destroy Musashi, because XA was the super proper choice here. But I figured I'd give Chloe a chance to shine since it's been a while. It has been a while since I've used Chloe, after all. Yeah, unfortunately that was not supremely amazing damage, Chloe. We can still probably pull this off in 3 turns, I'll say. Probably. It's just gonna be, you know, not as clean as I was hoping it would be. There we go. Chloe crits. Warm-ups are over. Charge plus each turn. That's not terrifying. Alright, so I know there's not going to be a Chloe Brave Chain. She's already ready to NP me. And do that. Okay. There we go. Give this a shot. Merlin leads, so he gets the boosted damage. Chloe does, I mean, with her arts, which may or may not hit. Not bad damage. Yeah. Chloe was good for Camelot, but I don't know. I think Chloe's potential might have dropped off by this point. Chloe's overall potential might be not in the boss category anymore, I think is the safe thing to say. She's still good. She's a great servant, don't get me wrong, but the damage numbers just aren't keeping up. And of course, that invincibility is a whole turn. Lovely. Yeah, so Chloe's damage isn't keeping up, so I think going forwards, Chloe will be done with being used in main story things. Unless there's like some weird Prelia story where she gets the damage boost, I guess. This should be enough to finish Musashi off at least. But yeah, I should have brought XA here for sure. XA would have rinsed this like nobody's business. But perspective, retrospective, whatever the word is here. Hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. There we go. That's the phrase I was looking for. Pardon the yawn. And not much in the way of rewards, but eh. Oh well. Drink some more water. Another no story node. Alright. Or, no story. No battle node. Plenty of story, I'm sure. Fo-fo! I know, right? Food always seems to be even better after a good workout. Food is amazing. Don't say favorite food, because I'm sure... Actually, I should have, because that would have probably summoned Emiya to here. Maybe even Tom the Cat. I agree, at first glance it doesn't appear to be anything special. There's bread, ham, salad, milk, the same kind of staples we've seen in all sorts of different times and places. And yet for some reason I can't put my finger on, everything here tastes completely different. Well, maybe not completely different. I mean, the bread is still bread. The ham is still ham, the milk is still milk, and so on. But from the moment you take a bite, you can sense the flavors change at least 3 times. And every single one of them is a breathtaking culinary example. I know exactly what you mean. I had the same reaction the first time I went around sampling the local cuisine. I mean, it's probably magic food, let's be honest. While we've still only seen a small fraction of what Olympus has to offer, we now know that this is an enormously highly advanced city with many tall skyscrapers that its nanomachines guarantee its populace long, healthy lives, and that its incredible prosperity, I might add, that is independent of any sort of currency, enables its people to devote themselves to art and academia, thereby further enriching its culture with no need for any kind of manual labor whatsoever. Their daily lives are happy affairs, praising the gods with bright smiles on their faces. War and combat are simply unknown to the people of Olympus, well, except for from where we are concerned. Yes, I see. There is no better word to describe this interstellar mountainous city of Olympus than utopia. Utopia? The sort of earthly paradise we'll live in dreaming for some time immemorial. Even the food here is simply sublime. The Chinese Lostbelt Empire was arguably a type of utopia as well, but its ideals were only achieved by concentrating its culture on a single point. Olympus, on the other hand, shares its wealth in every sense of the word, and all without any conflict whatsoever. It really is a paradise beyond human achievement. I must say even I don't know what proper human history could do against an opponent like this. Fo-fo. Hey, Holmes.
Yes?
Shut up. Did you not notice Solon magically just cheered up? Did you really have to rain on their parade like that? Besides, as far as we're concerned, it doesn't matter whether this place is a utopia, amusement park, or a front of an organized crime. You guys are from proper human history, which means this is a fight for your very survival. And the only way you guys are going to walk away from this alive is if you beat them before they beat you. Sol, you're here on behalf of all proper human history. I know that isn't the kind of position you wanted, and that you really didn't get a choice, but there it is. And you got enough in your udon bowl as it is without piling on extra toppings.
Perhaps, but all that being said, Miss Miyamoto.
Musashi. Thank you for worrying about us. I really do appreciate it. But it's okay. We need to know who it is we're up against. We need to know who the people of this Lostbelt are, even if we are attempting to cut the world off from proper human history again. We already decided that it would be wrong to avert our eyes from the effects of our actions. Choices. Between dialogue there. Wait, is that what this is about? Right and wrong stuff? Huh? Full? Why? I mean, the key to walking away from battle alive is to keep things as simple as possible, right? It's all well and good to worry about your opponent's circumstances, your own moral code and stuff. But you have to be able to separate yourself from those things, because worrying about them in the heat of battle is only going to help you lose. I mean, I'm not good at much except slicing folks up like some human meat grinder, you know. So any undue pressure about stuff not directly related to matters of life and death when I'm in the thick of enemy territory is the last thing I need. I see, so your comments are not... Just now, we're not meant to console Mr. Soul and Miss Carlight there, but rather... Yep, I just wanted you to cut it out and make it easier for me to win. Hey, Meisterman, welcome to the stream. Happy things. Basically, there's a time and a place for everything, and that includes thinking. I mean, yes, that's obviously true, and I do get your point, but... Yeah, you know, Musashi's a little bit of a ditz, so that's our Musashi indeed. I did get the twins from rolling. The twins did come home, but beyond them, nobody else knew. I did not get Canis. And I got the twins relatively easily. I think it was only within, like, 5-11 spins that I got them, so, you know. Woot woot. Oh. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm sorry for raining again on our breakfast parade. Oh man, now my soup's all cold. No need to apologize, Miss Miyamoto. I should have known better than to voice those thoughts at the time. You got your twins on the first single. Damn, dude! That's some luck! You also got Odysseus, too? Jeez, you're pretty much turning the Greek Lostbelt against themselves. You're brainwashing all of their servants to being yours. To your side. Or maybe not even brainwashing, maybe we're just persuading. NP2 Odysseus, nice. He's a pretty solid servant as well, so, you know. Congrats on that. Hey, yeah, you were the one who ran on this parade in the first place, not me. Now that you mention it, I suppose I was, wasn't I? Ha ha ha, I do beg your pardon. Is that all you got to say for yourself? Foo! Foo! Please go easy on him, Mr. Sashi. The hooded man once more, who I feel is probably Muramasa. We know he is in Olympus, yet he has not yet shown his face. I feel like this is Muramasa, who's going to be helping us out. Just, he can't let others know he's helping us, What in the world are you all doing at this hour? Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to disturb you. Oh, and thank you for breakfast. It was absolutely scrumptious. Breakfast? I see. That wasn't me. The twins made it for you. The twins! Oh, the twins are on our side already. Wow, look at that. Look at that. We already have the twins on our side. Two people we saw yesterday? That's right, though I doubt you saw their faces at the time. Why don't you two come out already? This is your base of operations now, isn't it? Oh, these two. Oh. Okay, I thought... When it was two people helping us, I thought it was the young kids. But no, these are actual, probably preteen young adults. And again, people with actual eyes. Huzzah, huzzah, the people have eyes. So these two are going to be the ones that are going to tug on our heartstrings at some point. Gotcha. But they're on our side, so... weird. I am glad to hear you like the food. Were you able to get enough rest last night? We slept great, thank you. Oh good, I've never had guests before, so I wasn't sure if I did a good job or not. Never mind that now, sister. Aw. For the time being, it looks like you're all at the point where you can talk again. I'm glad to see the Killer Nomi is working. I wasn't sure if it would fix your spirit origin or not. Indeed it did, and I'm greatly obliged for your help. But beyond, getting the twins, how have you been doing, my Mom? How have you been doing? Oh, did they give me some Killer Nomias too? Did they, please? You, Killer Nomia. Don't be ridiculous, aww. It'd be one thing if you undergone biomodifications like the elite soldiers, but there's no way Killer Nomia could ever be compatible with a normal human for proper human history. Aww! But I want nanomachines! No, all I did for you was cast a light healing spell, since you didn't have more than a few scratches. I just wanted nanomachine powers. Why can't I have the nanomachines? You're very welcome. Foo! Chaldea, visitors from proper human history. Well, I guess that really doesn't apply to all of you, but anyway. You must mean me. I'm Macarius, and this is my older sister, Adele. It's very nice to meet all of you. We're the God Destroyer Alliance, or at least what's left of it. The God Destroyer Alliance, eh? I'm Soul, Destroyer of Worlds, Committer of Genocide, Regicide, and soon to likely be whatever God-killing aside is. Still have to look that up. Should have looked that up in the free time. I'm Ash Carolite. I'm Minamon Musashi, watering servant. How about you in the hood? I have nothing to do with these twins. Introducing myself now would only complicate things. You don't say? Okay then, who's your owl friend? Hoot, hoot. All the gods of Olympus are machines. A mechanical owl shouldn't exactly be a shock. If you say so. Adele, Macarius. Thank you again for saving us yesterday. I don't know what we'd have done without your help. Are you both from Olympus? Yes, that's right. We're both official Olympus residents. We have citizen numbers and permit ration cards, and we live our days by the grace of the gods' blessings and protection. But the truth is... Now, sister. Save it for later. They need to know what's going on before we tell them about us. Macarius. I said no. It's still too soon to tell them about us. Besides, Chaldeans, I'm sure there's someone else you'd all rather be talking to. Tesla! Foo! Voice recording for Chaldea, pattern B2. Alright, where to begin? For the time being, I've entered all the information we possess into this base's data processing unit. It's embedded with a simple artificial personality program, so it can answer most questions you might have. That concludes the video portion of this of the instructions. I'll let the artificial personality take it from here. There, I think that should do it. Activation complete. From here on, I, the artificial intelligence, will do the talking. Yes, the picture remains the same, but get over it. This image is a recreation made by recycling existing video footage. An AI, eh? I suppose that shouldn't surprise me from one of the greatest scientific minds among the heroic spirits. Don't forget, you can always switch to me if you don't care for the half-witted eccentric's persona. You can also switch to me if you prefer. Hehehe. I can't do anything Mahatama related, though. Sorry I can't be more help. Anyway, hi there, Chaldeans. It's nice to meet you all. Yelena. Hold. Ooh. See, that's... Unless that's just a massive typo by putting Yelena and not Helena, that's a hint that maybe Holmes actually existed and he knew her, you know? Because there's always that contentious did he or didn't Holmes exist sort of thing. So the servants who left these recordings for us weren't summoned to Chaldea, nor are they the ones we met in any of the singularities. Rather, they're all heroic spirits from proper human history who were summoned here to this Lostbelt. Edison might be an exception. I don't know. Edison only materials like that in that singularity. True. Edison is only like that from our records. And then he materialized that in that singularity. Yes, good point. Thomas Edison's Lionhead spirit origin only came about in the fifth singularity. So he should still retain his memories of us, just like John Alter. Alright, let's begin with the basics of Olympus. Your opponents here are, in a word, gods. That was me. I decided to pause the AI for a bit. Before you hear any more, I wanted to warn you guys. You guys will probably be shocked by what they have to say. It might even be enough to make you despair completely. Some of the heroic spirits that made it here only stuck around long enough to see nobody could win against the gods. So I just wanted to make sure you're ready for what comes next. It's okay. Keep it going. We're gonna roll with the punches. Right, we can't do anything if we don't know who we're up against. So please, Macarius, Adele, please, let us see the rest. First, let's begin with the gods. The gods of Olympus, the rulers of this Lostbelt, are genuine deities that have existed since the Age of Gods. Those deities, including the ones you may have seen in Atlantis, are beings who came here from far, far across the universe. Aliens! I trust Macarius and Adele are there as well. They, like all residents of Olympus, refer to the gods as thus: deities who came here from across the sea of stars, the Great Ones. The descendants of primordial chaos, the great systems of prosperity, who bear the Cronus crown. And of course, the 12 Olympian machine gods. The Sea of Stars. We knew that these machine gods were interstellar weapons, but... This is way bigger than I was expecting, huh? So, hang on, let me just make sure I've got this straight. You said that these are super ancient gods who came across the Sea of Stars, right? So then, that would make them space aliens, right? Foul! Not quite, it wouldn't be entirely accurate to refer to them as merely intelligent life forms from another planet. Based on everything we now know, it seems they are more akin to machines from an extremely advanced civilization. One that may reside outside of our galaxy or at the very ends of our universe, or an entirely different universe altogether. Yes, that's more or less correct. I'm surprised. I thought you guys would be a lot more taken back. Why aren't you? Alright, well, thanks for stopping by. Well, that's the trick, though, Meistemon. She didn't survive. Remember, Musashi technically did not survive Shimosa. So, you know. You know what? I'm not that taken back. I felt it might be something similar, you know. I see. Alright, now should be a good time to proceed. Next, I have more information about the gods for you. From this point onward, I will be telling you how this Lostbelt differs from proper human history, and at what point in time it diverged. First of all, how did these gods originally come to be? The first gods were from primordial chaos, and eventually the younger generation fought the Titanomachia, the first great war. Up until this point, the world was largely the same as it was depicted in the myths of proper human history. The Titanomachia was the war between the Titans, the gods of the old generation, and Olympus, the gods of the new. As I recall, Zeus defeated his own father, Cronus, the king of the Titans. And in doing so, he gained control over the rest of the pantheon. The gods of Olympus won that war, and Zeus became omnipotent as a result. Omnipotent. Then there was the second Machia. This one took place roughly 14,000 years ago. During this war, also known as Leucusmachia, the gods of Olympus did battle with an enemy that threatened the entire world. Unfortunately, details pertaining to this event are scarce. Not only was it not recorded in proper human history, most of the citizens of Olympus know very little about it. However, my distinguished colleagues, what we can say for sure is that we are certain this is the point where the Lostbelt diverged from proper human history. Wait a second. Foe! Hang on. An enemy that... It was called the White... I remember it was also called the White Death. Was that Sephir? I know only because of Extella, I know that Sephir was defeated by Excalibur in proper human history. Whoever wielded Excalibur. Is the reason this Lostbelt diverged because the Olympians defeated Sephir instead of the proper wielder for Excalibur? Wow, that's quite the divergence. I did not know you had a partner Digimon. Who is your partner Digimon? And Wobbuffet? The Third Great War, Gigantomachia, a battle against numerous gigantes, took place about 3,500 years ago, serves as further evidence of that divergence. In proper human history, this Machia was the second and final great war of Greek mythology. In the version from proper human history, the gods of Olympus, aided by human heroes, eventually succeeded in vanquishing the mighty gigantes. I think the great hero Heracles even played a part, if I'm not mistaken. But in this Lostbelt, the gods eradicated every last gigant in an instant. How did they accomplish such a feat? By preserving the machine god bodies, which in proper human history had long since faded away, I'd presume. Exactly. The Olympian gods used their original machine god bodies to obliterate the gigantes all at once. Lovebird, man. I'll look that up. At least that is our working theory. In proper human history, the machine god bodies were lost long ago. But here in this Lostbelt, the gods somehow were able to retain them. The result is the very Atlantic Lostbelt in which we now find ourselves, a world ruled by machine gods who possessed their once lost mechanical bodies. So then in proper human history, the gods of Olympus were meant to lose their machine bodies between 14,000 and 3,500 years ago. So it seemed, but here the gods remained alive and well. And as long as these mechanical gods from beyond our universes have their original bodies, they are not even affected by the deterioration of the age of gods that was meant to occur. Soundbirdmon? Wobbuffet? That brings us to the fourth and final Machia. As with the second, this one also has no equivalent in proper human history. It is peculiar to this Lostbelt. A few thousand years ago, the gods of Olympus split into two factions. Their conflict revolved around what to do about humans, whether to rule over them or to coexist alongside them. This schism led to a fierce disagreement between the gods. Zeus, Demeter, Aphrodite, and Hera and Artemis all wanted to rule. So 5 of the 12 wanted to rule, but of the 5, they had the OG. While Athena, Hades, Poseidon, Apollo, Hestia, Ares, and Hephaestus wanted to coexist. We believe Poseidon initially sided with the rulers, but that he eventually ended up defecting to the other faction. Gods on each side listed loyal lesser gods as their disagreement, which evolved into full-blown war. This battle went on to be called the Olympiamachia, of the Great War of Olympus, as it is known in Atlantis. Both sides fought fiercely. Archivamon, which his last form is Voldramon, based off your love board. That's always good. It's nice that you have your partner, Wobbuffet. The remains of the mechanical gods who were killed fell to Atlantis, where they formed islands. In the end, the faction supporting rule over humans was victorious, and the opposition survivors were punished. For example, Poseidon, the sea god. His divine core was rewritten, reducing him to little more than an automated defense unit to protect the Great Pit. Poor Poseidon. And that brings us to today. The gods who emerged triumphant in all four Machia continue to rule this Lostbelt, with the city of Olympus as their capital. Today there are 5 gods who reside within Olympia: Dudana, the great orbital shrine that makes up the center of the city; Zeus, the omnipotent god of the heavens; Europa, the divine queen who fused with the goddess Hera; Demeter, the goddess of the land; Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty; and finally, the Dioscuri, the ancient twin gods. I'm pretty sure I've heard of Zizmon. The Dioscuri. Not now, Macarius, not now. I'm getting some... I'm wondering, these two, the fact that they're twins, the Dioscuri, I'm wondering if there's some sort of connection. I'm legitimately wondering if there's some sort of connection between Macarius and Adele and the Castor and Pollux. I could have swore Zizmon was something. Technically, the twin gods of Dioscuri are a divine spirit which makes up neither living gods nor mechanical ones. They died once and were transformed into divine spirits. Who killed them, you may ask? I wish I could say it was the God Destroyer Alliance, but it wasn't. No, their killer was the crypter Kristaria Wodame. Okay. So, Kristaria killed the Dioscuri twins and then resurrected them as divine spirits, huh? That's interesting. He's a god. Oh, yeah, he killed a god proper. Well, that's, After that, Kristaria formed a contract with the Dioscuri, making them his servant. To be clear, he did not summon their divine spirit from the Throne of Heroes. He formed a contract with genuine gods after they had been killed and reduced to divine spirit. Okay, so they were actually gods. He killed them, which made them divine spirits since they didn't have their godly bodies anymore or something. And then he formed a contract. Good freaking gracious. Kristaria is a Chad. The Dioscuri are not among the 12 Olympians, but they are no mere lesser gods either. They are one of the ancient gods who accepted Zeus as the supreme being. To be precise, they are a divinity that has been around since before the Gigantomachia. From what we've been able to gather, they joined the pantheon by imbibing Zeus' divine blood, his killer Anomia. They are now considered children of Zeus, with standing equal to Apollo in his glory days. And Kristaria Wodame managed to kill them. Hard to believe, isn't it? Ha 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 ha! If only it really was a bad joke as it sounds. They should have just stayed dead. Them and divine spirit, what a load of crap. The Dioscuri are deranged. They don't deserve to be spirits, let alone gods. Please forgive my brother. He swore an oath to the late Athena that he would one day take revenge on the twin gods for their murder of our 100-odd fellow alliance members. Aww. The Dioscuri are bloodthirsty maniacs, death incarnate, human killers. They killed almost all of the humans who joined the God Destroyer Alliance. There are only a few members left now, including us. Ouch, that must have been rough. Oh, well, Chaldeans, why are you acting like that? Aren't you scared? We're up against murderous gods. Gods who actually enjoy going out of their way to slaughter people. And if that isn't bad enough, there's another guy out there strong enough to make them his flunkies. Just the idea that you might have any chance of beating them is absurd. Yeah, it's absurd. We know some of the heroic spirits gave up and walked away when they found out about how Gigantomachia ended. So what about you guys? What's your deal? Does the fact that you guys aren't more than phased about... your world, proper human history, is even more messed up than ours? Stop that, Macarius. It's no way to speak to people we've just met. Oh. Sorry, everyone. I got a little out of hand there. But please, it's fine. Really, I don't blame you for being taken aback. We've encountered so many different threats by now that I suppose our reactions must seem strange. Gods from another universe, mechanical gods with frightening powers, twin gods who enjoy taking lives, Kirshtaria, who's strong enough to make those gods his servants. I realize one of them is a tremendous threat, threats that we may well not be able to deal with. And these revelations are shocking for us. It's tempting to despair in the face of such overwhelming odds. But all that being said,
we still got a job to do.
Okay, I think I get it now. Yeah, that's it. I get why you guys are like now. You're just how Edison said you'd be. He was right after all. So you Chaldeans really are just a pack of weirdos, huh? He's not wrong. Well, nothing wrong with that. You've convinced me. I like you guys. Foo-foo! So you get it now, huh? That's great. They really are weirdos, aren't they? Foo! What the hell are you? Don't jump on us. What are you, some kind of squirrel? Hey, look, Curious. I think he likes you. Foo-foon! Hey, get away from my sister. Oh, Foe. Foe knows how to lighten the mood. Foe knows how to lighten the mood. No battle node for the 4th arrow. Okay. Weirdos, huh? Yeah, that's the right way to think about them, Mercurius. They're all hopeless weirdos. That's been the case in every other Lostbelt so far, too. Though that's not to say that means they'll be able to accomplish the same thing here. What are you talking about? You're only here because the collaborator sent you, right? So where do you get off acting like you know so much about Chaldea? Collaborator? That's what we call the person who's been so kindly aiding our God Destroyer alliance. We don't know their true identity either, but they've been a big help to us, especially with procuring supplies for combat. We were told that the collaborator sent this hooded man here to help us, but... Say, you in the hood, you are on our side, right? Of course. I am for now, at least. Otherwise, I would have let the gods do what they wanted with you. I'm an acquaintance of this collaborator you speak of, and, on second thought, that's enough for now. Excuse me, I apologize if this is off the mark with you. But are you... Cat? I'm sorry, this is Caddock. I'll spare you the details of this particular exercise induction, but suffice to say, I'm something of an expert when it comes to disguises. Well, Sir Hood, did we get it right? Well, shit. Okay. Caddock is... You know, this may or may not change if I romance Anastasia in front of him. How he responds here will change if I try to romance Anastasia right in front of his eyes. Caddock. What, do you guys know each other or something? Oh my, does this mean you're part of Chaldea too? Me part of Chaldea? You gotta be. Don't forget it, just hell no. Damn it, Holmes, I get it. But how the actual hell did you see through my disguise mash? I was using a disguise spell and everything. I'm sorry. Whoa. What are you apologizing for? It's not like you did anything wrong. Yeah, fair enough. You saved our lives, Caddock. Thank you. For what? I only bailed you out because it would have been a waste to let you die back there. As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing more than pawns I can use to throw Olympus off balance, just like you did in Russia. So I'm gonna use you guys to further my own agenda. That's the only reason I bailed you out. It's not like you even have a snowball's chance in hell of winning here anyway. Between Zeus, Woodame, and the foreign gods' alter egos, you guys are hilariously outclassed. That's why I don't have to bother trying to kill you myself. Fool! Caddock is a former member of TA myself, I'm not part of Team A anymore. I'm a cryptor now. Hell, maybe I'm not even that anymore. Does this mean you are not acting with or on behalf of the cryptos here, Gods of Olympus?
Hell no, I don't even have the slightest idea what Woodame is thinking. He went out of his way to ever speak and get me, but he never told me why. He never told me why.
You may have lost your Russian Lostbelt. That doesn't mean you need to enter another crypto servants. You can keep your serious light too. You're a free man, Kadak. All I want you to do in the Atlantic Lostbelt is whatever you see fit.
Is this your idea of a joke? Because if not, it doesn't make any sense. Aren't you the one who sent Rasputin to get me off the shadow border?
That was entirely the priest's decision. I have no right to give the foreign god's disciples orders. As for why he saved you, your guess is as good as mine. Perhaps he only wished to prevent you from leaking information.
You know, there's not much I could have told them besides which crypto was where. None of us have any idea what the trees of emptiness actually made of, or what the foreign god really is, after all.
Of course not. The foreign god couldn't care less about any of you, after all. The foreign god isn't going to tell you anything, nor do they expect anything from you. They couldn't care less if you lived or died. Whereas the same cannot be said for me, as my every action carries the weight of the grandest expectations.
Is that so? Well, excuse the hell out of me for being a third-rate mage. Oh, that's weird. What was that long silence about?
It's fine, Kadak. Just get some rest for now. We won't have to worry about Chaldea for the time being. Keenus has told me they've made their way to Scandinavia, but there's nothing we can do about them from here. So my only orders for you are to go about and see Olympus for yourself.
You actually think I can live up to your expectations, even after the total mess I made of Russia?
I'm not the one who can decide whether or not you'll do that, Kadak. You are.
He may as well have told me not told me anything at all from all the difference it would have made. So now I'm doing whatever the hell I want, just like he asked. That's also part of why I'm here. I'm gonna uncover the truth behind Zeus and what Wodame's really thinking.
Oh, and what do you mean by that last part?
I don't actually care what's going on in that head of his, but it's not like I've got anything else to do. So I'm gonna show that stuck-up aristocrat that things aren't always gonna go his way. You know, I suppose that's motivation.
Oh, what's this now? Goodness, it's been so long since I've seen your face in person. I think the last time must have been back then, when you tore those poor Dioscuri twins apart. Kashtaria Wodame.
Good day, Lady Demeter, goddess of the lands. Indeed, it has been a long time, hasn't it? It seems your memory partition is functioning properly, at least in regards to me.
Oh my, how terrifying. That sounds as though you could destroy a true Alethea bodies whenever you like. Ah, Kashtaria Wodame, a dreadful human capable of killing us single-handedly. You're quite the problem child, aren't you? It saddens me so, particularly since I think of you as my own son.
Demeter, mournful goddess of the land, mother of the beautiful Persephone who inherited much of Gaia's disposition. I urge you to share your boundless motherly love with humans other than myself. I have no need of it.
Oh my! But there can be no children without mothers, nor can children grow without love and nourishment. Gods and humans are the same in this respect. Humans, this new intelligent species, still barely older than a newborn babe. This precious, fragile intelligence we met on this planet. I love you all, truly. I love you as though you're my own children. And I love you too, Kashtaria.
In the same way you love Persephone.
Ah, yes, you know Zeus is absolutely right. There's nothing that brings a mother like me more joy than to see her children grow up strong and happy. Which is why there's nothing I wouldn't do to make that happen. I would take an arrow for my children. I would gladly give up my body, my life, and my Alethea for them, truly.
Then I will take you at your word, Demeter, and trust that you truly bear a mother's love. As a matter of fact, Zeus's ideas of the restoration of mythology are closer to your own notions than to mine.
Kashtaria, what are you saying? Do you mean that Olympus, the heart of our Lostbelt, is not the ideal you seek?
Of course it is. We only differ when it comes to our endpoints. You see, I believe that the gods should be even stronger than they are now.
What the heck, Kashtaria? How much stronger can they get?
Now let me tell you one more thing. This is the single most important piece of information about the gods of Olympus that I have to share. The king of this Lostbelt is Zeus, an all-powerful god who naturally still possesses his original mechanical body. He has existed ever since the Age of Gods, just like Skadi from Scandinavian Lostbelt.
Looks like this is information we already knew.
Zeus, an omnipotent god who has continued to exist for millennia. If we are to take his omnipotent nature at face value, then he would seem to be very well and truly outmatched. And yet, Mysteria, I cannot imagine the The electric expert whose visage you now borrow would waste his time challenging an opponent whom he truly has no hope of defeating. You get right to the heart of things, don't you? Still, I can hardly blame you for interrupting, Mr. Holmes. You have every right to be concerned. And you're correct. Your hope of defeating Zeus is small, perhaps even infinitesimal, but it does exist. Zeus is indeed almighty, but he is not truly omnipotent.
Foe?
He can't do everything, then. You catch on quickly. Yes, that's exactly right. As king of the gods, Zeus possesses authority over infinite things, but conceptually, he does not possess infinite authority. We believe that Zeus turned into a nigh-omnipotent god by synchronizing all the Titans' authorities with his own, followed by the many lesser gods' authorities, and ultimately even his fellow 12 Olympians' authority. That much, at least, it would seem to be a matter of little doubt. But conceptually, he is not truly omnipotent, and so does not have control over all things and all beings in this world. At least that's our working theory. So, practically, he is omnipotent, but on a conceptual level, he's not. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, I see. Do you happen to have anything to support that theory? Of course. This very alliance space you're standing in right now.
The underground infrastructure.
Precisely. A truly omnipotent being would have known about villains like us lurking underground the instant we set foot here. Yet he has no awareness of this underground infrastructure. This was the domain of Hades, his fellow god, and he doesn't bother to look at it. From this, we can surmise that the gods of Olympus are conceptual deities, much like from other mythologies. And simultaneously that they depend on Chironomia, their authority-like functionality, from enormous mechanical bodies they use the ships to cross the Sea of Stars. That is where our chance of defeating Zeus lies. For if we are up against a nigh-omnipotent king of the gods with authority over infinite things, rather than a truly omnipotent god, then you should have a chance, however minuscule, of defeating him. Thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. This has been informative and hope-inspiring. So we have to target his body, essentially?
Fo-fo-fo!
Alright, let's get back to business. Though that said, the only business that remains is the information we have pertaining to Zeus. The omnipotent king of gods, head of the 12 Olympians, and victor of all Pharmakia, has formed a contract with Kerstaria as his equal. Well, bet that you had no idea about that, did you? So Kerstaria and Zeus are equals. Interesting.
Foe! Foe! You mean Kerstaria formed a contract not with a divine spirit, but with a god? But that shouldn't even be possible. Granted, there's no way to test that for sure, given that gods don't exist in our own time. But theoretically speaking, forming a contract as equals is... Okay, hang on, let me make sure I've got all this straight. You're saying this Kerstaria guy formed a contract, not with a divided spirit, but with an actual god, right? And not just any god, but a demiurge that's just as big as the Verokana?
Full marks, Miss Miyamoto. In fact, from an esoteric Buddhist perspective, it was a truly perfect answer. That's right, Zeus is neither a divine spirit that returned to the nature, nor a divided spirit. He's a proper almighty god. And Kerstaria Wodame has formed a contract with him. It puts him on a completely equal footing with Zeus as his sworn friend, no less.
Holy cow, no, that's the kind of mate you've been up against? I mean, he's just friends. They're just friends, They probably just can out-talk with each other telepathically. I'm sure the contract doesn't give Kerstaria any power over Zeus or anything.
That's right, not that we managed to stand against him for very long.
Wadame's been clear about his goals from the beginning. We're about to fill this world with inhumane mystic secrets. We will restore the Age of Gods. And if this Atlantic Lostbelt ends up becoming the new proper timeline, that goal will pretty much be fulfilled. He formed that contract with Zeus to be certain this Lostbelt's tree of emptiness would grow bigger as soon as possible. But even with all that said, there's something that doesn't add up. A Lostbelt needs its tree of emptiness to maintain its existence, but that doesn't change the fact that as far as this Lostbelt's king is concerned...
Yes. Shown each of the kings.
That the tree of emptiness is something strange and entirely foreign. But Zeus had no problem with this. I'm sure he and Woodman came up with some kind of secret agreement about it. But at this point, I can't see what their endgame could be.
Fo-fo!
Keep that furball away from me, would you? I never liked you, even when I was at Chaldea. Okay, Kadak, okay. You lose some points now.
Foe? Easy there, foe. It's okay.
Alright, Mash, this is the last thing I have to tell you. If you want to see Wodame, you can find him in the Great Orbital Shrine Olympia Dodona. That's where you'll find Zeus, too.
Where are you gonna go now, Kadak?
Who cares? It's none of your business. Alright, that's it for me. I'm getting out of here. I've said everything I wanted, and got everything I needed out of being collaborators lackey. I doubt we'll ever see each other again. That'll really depend on you guys.
Caddock.
See you around, Mash. Just make sure you don't stick with the losing team there for too long. You felt for yourself how strong these gods were, right? Well, Zeus and Wotamay are even stronger. If I were you, Chaldeans, I'd take a good long think about how you want to spend the rest of your lives. If you do survive long enough, make sure you go see Wotamay.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Battle node against a berserker. Form the party immediately before the battle begins. Why? It's literally going to be another bronze giant.
You know, I thought I'd tail him for a bit to see where he was going. But he lost me pretty quickly. Too bad. Man turning invisible and then rapid movement ability is a hell of a spell combo. It might technically be teleportation, but it sure feels like it. Maybe he's using talismans and mystic codes this Kurstari gave him or something.
Oh, Musashi.
Incidentally, I attempted to tail him as well with equally dismal results. I suppose we should have known he would make it that easy for us.
Really, Holmes? Really?
That being said, I believe this information Caddock and Olympus shared with us is trustworthy enough to use in determining our next course of action. After all, he would have little reason to lie to us except for personal revenge. Well, while he certainly has cause for desire of vengeance on us, taking into account his manner of speech, facial expressions, tone of voice, and what he told us.
We get it. Enough with the deduction shtick already. Basically, we have to make our way to Kurstaria, just like Caddock said, right? And eventually, you guys have to cut down the stream emptiness these insanely powerful super beings are defending. Boy, talk about playing on hard mode. This is going to be a fun challenge. I wouldn't say it's going to be a fun challenge. Faux. Since this collaborator person is good enough to support this underground society here, I figured it'd make our lives a lot easier if I could make contact with them. But it looks like that's not happening anytime soon. So what's the next step? Great Orbital Shrine, Olympia Dodona. If that enormous floating building is acting as the gods in Kurstari's base of operations, then our next step should be figuring out how we're going to get to it.
We could try to get there in the border through a series of zero sails, but even if Zeus's thunderbolt somehow missed us while we were preparing, it wouldn't take long for the other gods and soldiers to overwhelm us with sheer force of numbers.
Foot travel to there. There we go. You do something, Marcarius? No, I was just defrosting something. Defrost.
Yeah, I did.
Soul, we'd like to officially ask you to join the God Destroyer Alliance. We want you to come fight with us. You want to go to the Great Orbital Shrine, right? And you also need to cut down the Tree of Emptiness in Magellan. That's even further up past it, right? I thought it was Atlas. Then we should be able to help you with both goals. We have ways of traveling through airspace here. Furthermore, the Great Orbital Shrine is the God's throne. It's forbidden for humans to set foot in there. These kids are part of the God Destroyer Alliance. They are Marcarius and Adele. They are from Olympus. The shrine is the Great Orbital Shrine Olympias Dodona. I believe it was. No, the hooded man was Caddock. Yeah, Caddock was the hooded man, apparently. Yeah. That was a shocker. I thought for sure it was Muramasa, but no, it's Caddock. So, since he saved our bacon, I might reconsider, romancing Anastasia in front of him. I might reconsider doing that. But he did say he never liked foes, so, it's up in the air right now. They won't let you get in without a fight, but then you're going to have to fight the gods anyway. I hope I can count on your help. We will.
Magellan, another galaxy name, though I had suspected as much. We'd be honored to help you. I just had a thought. Why don't we take this occasion to celebrate? Well, by celebration, do you mean yummy food? That's right. I made a pretty simple breakfast for a special occasion like this.
Sister?
Sorry to interrupt, but I need to use this thing while it's still freshly defrosted. Huh? Oh, I see. Yes, you do, don't you? So no yummy food just yet, huh? Bummer.
What was it you were defrosting anyways?
It's something you might have seen before. Here it comes. The floor just opened up and something huge is coming from underneath it.
Oh ho!
Huh? It looks just like the hostile entities we encountered in Atlantis a number of times. It's a steel chimera, an autonomous weapon made of high-purity kilrodomia. It's used to serve the gods, but after Edison and Tesla made a number of adjustments to it, and Miss Blavatsky cast a spell to tame it, and now listens to us and does a very good job, too. Nemia, sit! Now, as you can see, it's now this Alliance's base trusty guardian. So next up, we're going to use it to see how strong you guys are. I trust you're fine with that. Yep, figured something like that was coming. Holmes trying to back away. Oh, no you don't. Where'd all that big talk from earlier go, huh? Surely you're not about to say your Brutes, who's no match for a little demonic beast, are you?
Of course it is. I said Brutes was a highly versatile martial art, and I stand by it. But that doesn't mean that using it to fight a creature like this simply is quite something of pain in the posterior.
You two really get along, huh? Anyway, we can back you guys up with the artillery mystic codes, but we won't. We don't know that much when it comes to sword fighting. It's true, so we're hoping we can count on all of you to handle the melee combat if you don't mind. Hey, you'll be fine, right, Mash? I mean, you got that giant shield and everything.
Me?
You heard of Mash? Battle positions. I play Mash in attack mode.
Right, Master. Just, give me a few minutes, please, if you all wouldn't mind.
So that it is one, you know? Just like Wendy wasn't a name until the author of Peter Pan made it, you know?
Emergency transformation complete. Setting up at 70%. Preparing to intercept combat training target.
Okay. Again, with it being Berserker, I really can't justify having Mash in the front lines unless she has a buff. I'm gonna keep Mash in the front line just unless she has a buff. Because we know Musashi will. Chloe, get replaced with you. How are you doing, Ozzy? Ozzy's 12k off. Artemis is 300 off. So that will be good there. Let's do some more friend points. Friend points. Chaldean lunchtime. And away we go. He saved us and then he peaced out. He said he saved us just so we could be pawns of his. But, that's kind of all. He didn't really elaborate. He was sent by some collaborator as well. Oh, well. 3 enemies, huh? Yeah. Musashi. Yeah, Musashi can wheel and Musashi can deal. I honestly did not know that you liked Katak, J6. I honestly did not know that. Buster effectiveness, crit star gather, or drop rate, whatever it's called. And why not just buff all this with an attack boost? And more crit star drops. Go, Musashi, go. A team equivalent of Ritsuka, but with a huge inferiority complex. I mean, I don't think he's their equivalent, because, he didn't like Foe, you know? And in order to be us, we must like Foe. Because I'm pretty sure otherwise he would have gone all beast on us, you know? I mean, but did he... He didn't know that. He might have been able to, like, sense it at a spiritual level that Foe is stronger than him, but, you know... He didn't know that. Plus, I would argue if Foe is stronger than him right now... I mean, there is that theory I'm cooking up that, Foe, having given up his a lot of his magical energy and his intelligence to Rez Mashu, is slowly absorbing the magical energy from all these Lostbelts to regain his sentience. Which would be awesome if Foe regained his sentience, you know? That'd be awesome. I hope it happens. But that's just a theory. Foe can still slap him like how he kicks Merlin. But that was a sentient foe. Foe may or may not have his sentience right now. May or may not. That's enough. Okay, Nemia, you can rest now.
The steel chimeras are going back to their underground storage hangar. The battle's over, Master. I never would have thought the chimera would divide itself like that. Is it just me, Miss Miyamoto, or were you not taking this especially seriously? Looks like you guys really are strong. You obviously had a lot of experience fighting up close. That means you ought to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Royal Guard. But it's still not enough to beat the gods. So we're going to use Tesla, Edison, and Blavatsky's party gifts. That's right, they left us a number of machines and a few different planes of attack to use. You know, there's gotta be... I feel like there is some connection between these twins and the Dioscuri twins. I feel like there's some connection. But they are definitely trying to get us attached to these twins, so that we'll feel sad when it comes time for them to inevitably accept their fate and be wiped out with the rest of Olympus. They'll probably give us some parting words of encouragement or whatever. Yeah, probably. These God-slaying blades are the best tools the God Destroyer Alliance can offer you. Oh, Adele's hurt. Huh? Oh, this? I guess I must have gotten hit when Nemia's charged and flying. Don't worry, I'll be fine. She's bleeding from her right arm. We'll have to stop it. It's okay, she'll be fine. In fact, this is a good chance to show you something. Just stand back and watch. Your injury is healing itself. I mean, they're immortal right now, but they can't survive a Lostbelt disappearing, you know? It still hurts, but the wound is gone now. By tomorrow, there won't be a trace of pain left. So it's really okay, you don't have to worry. Foe! You can burn us, shatter us, tear us apart, it doesn't matter, we'll always go back to our perfect forms. Well, that's kind of disturbing. That's right, we never change no matter what happens to us. Any injury we suffer heals itself, that's how we've been remade. Thanks to the ambrosia, the Demeter killer Nomi they regularly give us to maintain our bodies, no citizen of Olympus will ever get sick. We're practically immortal now. No one can die, no one can kill. The gods are the only exception. They are the only ones with the power to kill us. Okay, that's a little rough. Also, J6, they said I can't handle the nano machines. I can't handle nano machines. I can't get a nano machine augment. Sadness. I'm sorry, I think I might have misheard you a moment ago. Did you just say you were practically,
immortal? Yes, Miss Carlite, he did indeed say that. I presume that means as long as the god's authority remains, you and the other people of Olympus will eventually come back from death.
That's right.
Return from death.
Immortality. The one thing humanity has long since continued for time immemorial. The ultimate goal of countless technologies, not to mention magecraft. And here it is, just a fact of life. Just how advanced is Olympian civilization compared to ours? So every injury everyone gets automatically heals and they never have to fear death. It's damn impressive, that's for sure. I can't even imagine what it would be like to live like that. Fo!
I knew the city had achieved long, healthy lives for its citizenry, but I never would have thought it had also found a way to bring them back from death. Never mind Utopia, this place would seem to be more akin to heaven, our collective idea of a blissful life after death. It almost strikes me as a calculated plan to forcefully evolve all humanity into the realm of the gods. Good gracious, I can only imagine the look on Mothman's face if he were to ever hear about this.
Yeah, if they can come back... Oh, that soldier's still alive. That's good. That's good to know. The one Musashi likely beheaded is back to life, probably. That's good.
Right, now that you mention it. The reserve soldier we first fought after the alarm was sounded was... He was dead, I killed him myself. But now that you mention it, there was something strange about it. Even after I dealt the killing blow, I didn't feel as if I really won. I guess him not actually dying would explain it.
He didn't die. None of us can be killed here. Inflicting death is a power only the gods have. But at this point, that soldier will have come back to life and start thinking of ways to get his revenge. While we're on the subject, I might as well tell you this too. Even if we stop taking ambrosia, like me and sister have, the killer Nomi inside our bodies will continue to function. So we'll always be like this, forever.
Forever.
That's right, forever. Immortality is, well, eternal. Ever since that day the gods bestowed ambrosia on us eons ago, we've always looked exactly like this. Wait. So those kids have been kids for eons then? Damn. That must suck. Wow, those kids are stuck as children. You don't age either. Alright. We've been alive for a long time. A very, very long time. We'll never reach adulthood. We both stopped growing long, long ago. The adults are all happy that we're still children. They say children are weak and should be protected, so we should just let them and the gods take care of us and be grateful for it. Never mind that we passed adult age a long time ago. No, I see. While many Olympians may be fine with this enforced stagnation, the two of you are not. And while the gods may have succeeded at preserving happiness at the level of society, it seems they were unable to extend their control to individual emotions. Truly fascinating. Very well, that at least makes clear why you two have chosen to rebel against the gods and assist us. But before we go any further, there is one thing I would like to confirm with you.
That's right.
Fine with me. As you know, we are from Chaldea, a group of beings from proper human history. Our victory here would mean the end of this entire Lostbelt. Do you understand what that means? If we succeed at cutting down this tree of emptiness, everything here, Olympus, the gods, and all the many people, including you two, will disappear. No exceptions. Even knowing that, do you still wish to fight by our side?
Oh. Yeah, we do. We don't need to keep living the same day over and over forever. We want to see a new tomorrow. Even if it means we end up dying for it.
Wow, that's kind of motivational.
Oh no. Please, don't be sad, Mash. We've spent an entire century thinking this through from every possible angle, and this is what we decided. We want to see tomorrow, a real tomorrow. A day that's different from the one that came before, something more than just another today. We've already lived more than enough for countless lifetimes. Do you have any idea how old I am? Well, I remember everyone at Atlantis had a lifespan of at least a few hundred years, so I guess maybe twice that, or several times?
A few hundred years, huh? The gods' protection must have worn pretty thin for them. I'm jealous. Back during the Fourth Machia, we were actually supposed to go to Atlantis ourselves, along with all the other people who supported the faction that wanted to coexistence between gods and humans. But what happened was,
we missed the last boat, and we'll never have another chance since the gods don't allow any of us to leave the city.
Oh, hold up. The Fourth Machia was the war between the gods. Didn't that happen something like several thousand years ago? So you guys are saying you're a few thousand years old?
No, we're not.
I'd say we've been allowed... Well, you know, they do say immortality can be quite the curse. They do, in fact, say often that immortality can be quite the curse. So, yeah, 10,000 years alive, probably no, what's worse, 10,000 years stuck in puberty. That would be rough. That's right, 10,000 years plus a few centuries.
10,000.
Ouch. We're citizens of Olympus. We're the gods' beloved playthings kept in their eternal cradle. Ever since the day the gods built this city, we've been stuck living here forever. That's right. For over 10,000 years, we've been forced to live millions upon millions of versions of essentially the same day, never getting to set one foot outside the city's limits, never getting to grow or change. For 10,000 years, we've been utterly stagnant. 10,000 years of doing essentially the same thing. Yeah. That would honestly drive anybody mad, but I'm guessing madness probably isn't allowed. Wardrobe. Orsnack's refurbished. Okay. Mash has a new Spiriton dress now. How many does she get? I'm not gonna complain, but, you know, that's kind of funny. Anyways, that was section 5, and it was quite the doozy. 10,000 years stuck in puberty. I'm pretty sure anybody would be wishing for death at this point, but in all seriousness, now that would be not just 10,000 years stuck in puberty, but 10,000 years doing the exact same thing for all that time. Damn. But that was section 5.